Hello everyone, this is Spliced, and welcome to my full guide on the Lawbringer. I have been using this class since the release of For Honor so far, and I am very much enjoying this class. There's a lot of things to note about it though, but simply this is just going to be a guide on how to use the class as efficiently as possible. I do not claim to know everything about this class, however, so I might be forgetting some things or leaving some things out, so I do apologize for that in advance. If you guys have anything to add to this tutorial at the end of the video, please make sure to do so in the comments. I would love to read over them and try to expand on this guide maybe later in the future. But for now, hopefully I'll be able to teach you guys as much as I can. I will be including the basics, the advanced, and for the experts as well, a tutorial for anyone who wants to know how to use this Lawbringer as efficiently as possible. So with that being said, let's get into the first point of this video. The Lawbringer, to what everyone might be thinking of it as a heavy, is actually a hybrid, which means that it is well rounded in more than one thing. The Lawbringer is known as a counterattacker, which means you're going to want to wait for your enemy to attack you, for you to be able to open your combos on them. And I'm going to say right now that if you do not know how to parry well, I do not recommend this class, as parrying is a huge part in the Lawbringer's playstyle. And while the Lawbringer is not considered a heavy, it is still a very slow attacking class, so you're going to have to be patient with your attacks and watch for your enemy attacks and movement, read your opponent, know what they're doing, and be able to be prepared to attack them immediately after they attack you. Now that we're done with the basic knowledge of the class, let's move on to the beginner moveset. If you are not great at parrying but still want to give the Lawbringer a try, then the beginner moveset should be for you. This moveset will not contain anything to do with parrying, and it has a basic moveset for you to keep track of. It's very simple and should be easy to follow. This beginner moveset will contain the moveset Book, Chapter, and Verse, Judge, Jury, and Executioner, and Swift Justice, as well as learning the shoves, the long arm, and being able to counter your opponent through blocking. Book, Chapter, Verse is the first moveset in the beginner's moveset, and it basically is just a simple light attack, strong attack, light attack. But before I get into that, I want to mention that the upper light attack of the Lawbringer is a little bit faster than the side light attacks. So if you want to open for one of these combos, it is recommended to do it from the top rather from the sides. Also, another thing to note about the Lawbringer is that strong upper attacks stun the enemy if they hit successfully. So it is very good to know that if you want to chain a combo to keep the enemy blinded. When opening with any of these combos, it is not recommended to attack in the same direction. Always try to change up your direction to keep the enemy guessing and giving your best possible chance to hit them every single time. Every bit of damage counts, and the closer they get to lower HP, the more worried they will get, and they might panic, and you can actually take advantage of that. Swift Justice is the next combo in this moveset, and it adds a little bit more punch and damage since it starts with a strong attack and ends with a strong attack. You can perform this combo by doing a strong, then light, then strong attack. Again, it is recommended to mix up your movement to keep the enemy confused. If the enemy successfully blocks the strong attack, you can continue on the combo because blocking a strong attack does not stop the combo. Only parrying and dodging can stop a strong attack. Next we have Judge, Jury, and Executioner. This combo is performed by doing a light attack, then strong attack, then another strong attack. The third strong attack performs an unblockable attack, where the enemy blocking in the direction you're attacking will not be able to stop the attack. The only way to stop it is through dodging and or parrying. This is very powerful because if the enemy is not prepared for the attack and thinks that they can block it, you can do some significant damage without them realizing it. This combo is also very special because you can chain into another combo that I will get into later. But for now, we're just learning the simple, basic combo moves that you can learn with the Lawbringer. Once again, mixing up your movement gives your enemy a sense of misdirection, and you can get some really nice hits if they're not prepared. And finally, we have the last two movesets, which is Shove and the Long Arm. Shove is performed by pressing dodge and then guard break, which will push your enemy away. It is unblockable, but it is dodgeable. And then we have long arm. This is performed by pressing back on the analog stick or S on your keyboard, and then pressing guard break, which will grab the enemy and flip them over top behind you. These two abilities are very unique to the Lawbringer because they're both used to start chains and also can be used in conjunction with each other as a mix-up to start doing combos and also to confuse your enemy and also to break their combo. Moving on to the combo list with this set, immediately when you block, you can perform a guard break, which will instead do a shove, and what that does is it stops the enemy's combo immediately in its tracks. What else it does is that it starts the first attack in your third combo chain. What I mean by that is, usually, for example, book, chapter, verse, you need to do a light, strong, light attack, but when you shove the enemy, it acts as the first attack, so you can actually do a strong attack then light attack afterwards. You can also start the other two combo chains, one of them being Judge, Jury, and Executioner, where it's a light attack, and then strong attack, and the third strong attack is an unblockable. You can do a shove, then strong attack, and the third strong attack will be the unblockable. It's quite cool, and it's pretty good to stop the enemy in their track to start your own chain. Next up we have the combo Shove into the long arm. This is a pretty unique combo because it's mostly for draining the enemy's stamina, but it can also guarantee you a free light attack. This doesn't really do significant damage, but it does guarantee you damage, which is pretty good in duels when you want to drain your enemy if they're very defensive or they know your moves. This can also be used to chain into your combos, your basic 3-move combos, but be wary, the chance of it hitting is pretty low because the enemy will be on its guard after you knock them out. And for the final combo, we have the Shove into guard break into strong attack. When you shove the enemy, you give a choice to go for a guard break or any other attack. If you want to go for a guard break and you do land it, it will land you a free strong attack, but only from the sides, as going from the top gets a little bit slower and gives them a chance to block or dodge it. That about does it for this beginner moveset. Remember, keep in mind that this is without parrying, and I do still recommend that Lawbringer is a class that requires a lot of parrying to get your combos down on your enemies. That will be coming up in the advanced and expert moveset, but for the people who want to try out Lawbringer and are not really great at parrying at the moment, this should be a good step in the direction that you need to go. But again, if you're going to use Lawbringer and you really want to learn more, then I do suggest trying to learn how to do parrying. That is it for the beginner moveset. Let's move on to the advanced moveset. Starting off with the advanced guide, we have the Impaling Charge combo. This is performed by doing a running attack and holding down the attack button to travel a long distance into an obstruction environment, like a wall or an item, and as soon as they stagger, you can get a free strong attack from any direction. This is where I would recommend doing a strong attack from the top, which would blind the enemy, allowing you to chain into another attack if they're not prepared. You can use this attack in conjunction with any of the 3 basic combos. Next, we're going to learn about a basic parry riposte. A parry is performed by doing a strong attack in the direction that the enemy is attacking you right before it hits you. After you perform a parry, immediately do a light attack, doesn't matter which direction, and you will immediately get a free hit on the enemy. Next, we're going to learn about how to do a parry into an unblockable top attack. This is performed by doing a parry in any direction and then moving to the upper attack position and immediately pressing strong attack right after. This will perform an unblockable top attack. If you do a strong attack in the direction that is not top, you will perform an Impaling Riposte, but I do not recommend doing it as it's very slow and very predictable. Next, we're going to learn about the Parry Guard Break combo. When you parry the enemy, you are able to guard break them afterwards, which will allow you for a free strong attack to the side. You might think that parrying the enemy and then going for the upper unblockable might be a better choice, but it actually isn't. If you have a chance to go for the guard break, I would recommend it, because the upper unblockable is actually parryable and dodgeable. To add on to this combo, if you parry and guard break them near an object, you can throw them at it, which will allow you for a chance to go for the upper strong attack and be able to continue into a chain of any of the basic combos. The next combo we're going to be looking at is the shove mix-up. This is performed by blocking an attack, shoving the enemy, going for a guard break, and then hitting a strong attack from the side. And then immediately after the strong attack hits, go for another shove. It will immediately hit them, and then go for it again. Just keep repeating the process, and keep hitting them from a strong attack. The chance of this landing is not really that high, but if the enemy isn't really expecting it, and or they're not really great at guard breaking, this is a really excellent way of destroying the enemy without them having to do anything. Taking everything you've learned, put it all in conjunction to each other and try to make a good combo out of it. Keep your enemy confused and keep them guessing. Once you learn everything and master it all, it should look a little something like this. That about does it for the advanced guide. As you can see, parrying opens a huge amount of combo varieties for this class, and it's very recommended that you learn it as soon as possible if you want to push the Lawbringer further. Up next is the expert moveset, which I will be going over enemy prediction and feinting. However, stopping at the advanced part is a good resting point, as most of the time, waiting for the enemy to attack you is the best thing to do as the Lawbringer. But for those who want to push forward and learn the most you can out of the Lawbringer, here is the expert guide. Before we get into the combos of the expert moveset, we gotta learn about the feinting technique. Feinting is performed by doing a strong attack and then cancelling it by pressing B or circle. What this does is it tricks your enemy into thinking you're going with that attack, and then they will try to parry it or dodge out of the way. This will allow you to perform a counter on their counter, which is important to know when going against expert players. Another thing to note is how the player might counter your feint with their feint of their own, so you'll be tricked into following through with your strong attack. A quick way to counter this is to feint into a guard break, and then you can get a free strong attack off of him. Starting off with the first combo, we're going to do Judge, Jury, Executioner, and then feint the last hit and parry the enemy's strong attack. After a successful parry, then you go for a guard break and the free strong attack comes afterwards. If the enemy is being too defensive, you can bait them out by doing a setup combo. A setup combo is performed by using Judge, Jury, Executioner, but not using it to attack your enemy. Instead, you use it in the air before you hit your enemy, and on the third hit, you feint your strong attack to make the enemy use their strong attack, and then you parry that into a guard break into a free strong attack. The next combo is to parry your enemy's attack when you're near an object and throw them towards that object. You then do an upper strong attack and follow through to a combo, and on the last strong attack hit, you feint it into parrying their counter. The next combo that's actually part of the moveset is called Swift Justice Finisher, which is when you throw the enemy against the wall, you do an upper strong attack, then a light attack, then another upper strong attack, and the next light attack you do after that is extremely quick and is a guaranteed free hit. To add more to this combo, after you do the Swift Justice Finisher, you can follow up with a guard break and then follow through with another combo. On top of that, this completely drains the enemy's stamina, so they will be on the complete defensive. This combo can be quite hard to pull off, but when it does, it can be extremely deadly. The next combo is adding on to the shove and long arm. After you do a shove and long arm from blocking, do a strong attack and then feint it to counter the enemy's parry. The next set of combos is about unlocking from your enemy. For the first one, unlock from your enemy, run away, and then come back and do an impaling charge. Then when you hit them against an object, go for the Swift Justice combo, and at the last hit, feint it to counter their parry. Be wary though, as this combo uses up all of your stamina. If the enemy is predicting you well and is prepared to block that attack, instead of doing the impaling charge, go for a guard break instead. This could almost guarantee you a free strong attack if it works. And finally, if the enemy predicts both of those and is prepared to do a retaliation immediately when you come close, get close to the enemy and then lock back onto them and prepare to do a counterattack to anything they're doing towards you. Moving back to the shove long arm combo, if you still want to get that free hit in, you can. Just make sure you feint the second attack to parry the counter. Now take everything you've learned from this guide and put it all together. If done right, and you learned everything well, and you've mastered your ability, it should look something like this. So that does it for the expert guide on the Lawbringer. I'm sure there's lots of combos and lots of movesets you can learn. It's mostly about enemy prediction yourself and just learning your enemy's movesets and how they play, and then using your combos and utilizations around that. But these are just the basic ideas of how to use the Lawbringer. I hope you guys very much did enjoy and did learn something, and with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.